Welcome to Nightmare 365.
This is the center of weirdness for the entire planet.
There's tons of unsolved mysteries out there. Witches still exist.
What about monsters?
Do you believe in ghosts?
Bigfoot is not out there.
Bigfoot is definitely out there. UFOs are real.
UFOs might be real.
Do you believe in conspiracies?
I consider myself a conspiracy theorist.
I want to believe in all these case files.
Trust no one. The government lies to you.
We're just two brothers exploring the unexplained, mysterious, and spookiness that lives among us. What's going on, all you mystery seekers? Welcome back to another episode of Case File 67.
67.
We're 67th case file into the podcast, and today we're talking about one of my favorite cryptids,
Batman.
The Mothman, Winged Beast. What was it?
Mothy.
That was some of my favorite names of the Mothman. And the legend dates back to 1966. I'm going to share this clip that I found. It was the first one.
See, too bad this wasn't case file 66, 1966.
I know we should, but the ending of this case file was 67.
Technically,
even though it's been spotted in 2017,
yes,
in Chicago. We're going to dive deep into this one. This one is my favorite. I know you're on the fence about this one.
I am on the fence about this one.
Why are you on the fence about this one?
Because I don't know if it's real or not. It could just be...
A lot of these cryptids, though, like, how do you know what's real, what's not real?
Some of them are real, and some of them, like, are realer than others, I would assume.
Realer than others.
Yeah, I would say realer than others.
Realer than others. All right, so I'm going to share this.
Loch Ness, that's real. Bigfoot might be real. UFOs probably are real. Ghosts probably are real. Mothman, probably just a big winged creature.
All right, we'll talk about it on today. So I'm going to share this clip that I found of Jeff Walmsley. He runs the Mothman Museum, and there was a show that I was watching. I thought it was a pretty cool clip. Let's share it here with you.
Mothman sighting started back in 66, November 66.
Jeff Walmsley gives tours showing people where the legendary 7-foot-tall winged man with glowing red eyes the size of baseballs was spotted at least 100 times between November 1966 through December of 1967.
Dude, 100 times. 100 times that this was cited. That's kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, even like in a couple of the articles when even the movie was coming out in 2002, the Richard Gere movie.
Yeah, the Mothman Prophecies.
There was a lot of articles written by the actual reporter who went to West Virginia and said that he doesn't think that it ever stopped. It just never reached like a fever pitch or continued to be reported after the big incident.
Yeah, I did in my notes. I had, according to author John Keel, who moved to West Virginia What is that?
Q.
What is that from?
I don't know.
All right, we're making it up as we go along here for Case File. We didn't even open up the Erie Vault.
The Wingman.
You're on the board, and you forgot to open up the Erie Vault.
That's the Mothman coming out.
I love the way you make some certain noises for the Mothman. What else did you do? Oh, yeah, you had Buddy the Bison. What other animal noises can you do?
Him eating the chicken.
Him eating the chickens. Oh, boy. It's getting crazy here. Those are chickens, or is that the Mothman?
No, that's him eating the chickens.
All right, he's
got to eat some chicken. I mean, he was eating dogs, though, too.
Now he's eating dogs.
Well, he was mutilating dogs.
How do you know this?
Well,
was this in your notes?
This is what they say.
This is in your notes.
This is what they say.
Who says this? Is this John Keel said this?
Q.
According to him, when he moved to West Virginia to chronicle the bizarre happenings in West Virginia, he said at least 100 people personally witnessed the creature between November 1966 and November 1967. And just the history alone, the first reported sighting, I guess you could really say, which everybody talks about on every show that I watched, was from November 12th, 1966 in Clendenin, West Virginia, where 5 grave diggers claimed to have seen a human-like figure soaring just above them in the autumn trees. Days later, on November 15th, that's when like the first sighting was happened in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. About the and there was
the two couples were like on like a lookout point, like just making out in the cars, and then this goddamn winged creature comes in and just spoils all the fun.
Scarberry and
trying to get in those pants, and then all of a sudden this guy
I love the noises.
is around your car.
This is definitely the most. So the Mothman may exist according to you, but this is exactly how it sounds.
Yes.
Yeah, this was a weird case file just because of like the amount of sightings. And when you look back in some of the history too, which I found, I'm going to pull it up here. I forget exactly where I have it. But they said the Sand Hill crane, one of the professors from West Virginia University came down and said, this is definitely the Sand Hill crane that was people mistakenly,
Yes.
spotted or thought was the Mothman. Just because how tall it is. And from looking it up, it said it could be anywhere from 4 to 5 feet tall. Mm-hmm. And then the wingspan could be up to like 6, 7, even, depending on what it really is.
Sure.
And then it does have like the red,
eyes.
it's more like, I guess, the feathers around the eyes. The eyes aren't really red, but they did say there was a type
But I'm
of
sure
owl.
if reflective off of some light, I'm sure it could look red to some people. And then if you see this huge ass bird or crane or whatever you want to call it.
Well, they did say that like the eye shine too is attributed to the owl. Like you look at that, like there's the glowing red, eyes. And
But
then
I don't think anyone would mistaken like a 7-foot creature for an owl. I don't think if an owl is that big, it's fucking huge.
Let's put it, say 100 people did see this and they did have personal experiences. All right, maybe you want to say 50% misidentified something. Because
I'd say more than that. I think it's like 30% or 70% of all eyewitnesses or misremember certain details.
Yeah.
Like if everyone sees the same thing,
right,
everyone will have a different account.
Yeah. It's true, and the History Channel did something on this on Monster Quest because I watched it. The episode was all right. They weren't really in Point Pleasant, but they did, they had the thing where they would talk about like the Sandhill crane, and then they had some stuff on the side where they did talk about, like people, like what did they see, how tall it was. And that's the one thing that always gets me about these case files, like how people could
judge.
Yeah,
height.
like everybody always knows it's 6, 7, 8 feet tall.
Well, if you take yourself and you look at it, or if you take an object that's in the foreground or in the background.
I always throw that out because like if I showed somebody in the distance, how tall is that? And then it'd be like, oh, that's 6 foot. And they'd be like, all right, let's go up to it. And it's only like 3 foot.
Well, I mean, that's pretty big disparity.
No,
if you say it's 6 foot and it's either 5 or 7 foot,
but
then
I guarantee
it's in the
like,
range.
Well, that's anything if like we went outside and we said, hey, like let's ask people, how old do you think that person is?
Well, you can.
I understand.
Look at their hands.
I understand.
Look at their hands.
But that's the same thing. Like
people can get surgery on their face and everything else. Look at their hands. No one gets surgery on their hands.
All right. So you could, if we went outside it and we depicted, like we showed you stuff in the distance, could you accurately account like how tall everything is?
I think I could. Yes.
I don't know. We'll have to do that one day, experiment.
All right.
Because I don't think like people know exactly how tall things are.
I think they do. I do.
No way.
Not many people do, but yeah.
Greg knows everything on the next podcast.
Dude, that would be great.
Greg knows it all. Just give it to Greg. He'll tell you exactly what it is 100% of the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just find that like just very odd. Like everybody knows. And when you're in a panic situation, like you see some unknown creature and then you know exactly how much it weighs and exactly how tall
I'm sure
it is.
they take reports from let's say 100 people saw it and some people say it's 5 foot, some people say it's 8 foot. You take it's 6.5 feet tall.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing too. And like just watching reports on this, and what I found interesting about this case file is the TNT area. It was a former World War II munitions plant where they were making ammunitions for
buddy.
the war. And
we smacked the Germans.
What?
World War II.
You don't even know history.
Yeah, World War II.
All right. Well, who else?
What do you mean? Who else?
There was more than just the Germans. Who else was it?
Well, yeah, we fought the Japanese as well.
All
Pearl Harbor.
Anybody else?
Atlantic Pacific Wars. 2 different wars going on.
Oh, my God. I don't even think you know. Greg knows it all on the next podcast. No, so like this is one of the things that really did intrigue me, because if this was going on during World War II, right, there could be some, like a lot of people said this could have been a mutated bird, or
it could be, yeah.
It could be a mutated something.
I think a lot of the things that people see that are unexplained are either mutations of different creatures, or it's just a creature that's like, look at human beings. Look at like the tallest human being, right?
Yeah.
He's not the average, but
it's
it's an outlier. So this might be an outlier crane that was just flying around.
just for like the years. See, that's the thing too. Like, but then like, how do you equate to some of the sightings in 2017? And they said it's pretty similar to what people were seeing in the 60s. So is this thing spawning?
I could. I mean, why not?
Is there more deformities and in other areas that they're doing some waste dumping or, like ammunitions? Because if you watch some of the videos of this TNT area, it is pretty creepy.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
And a lot of the sightings did happen around this TNT plant in West Virginia by Point Pleasant. And then one of the things I wanted to mention too, and who really put this on the map, and I think you have to give her credit, is Mary Heyer. She was working for the paper in Point Pleasant at the time, during all these sightings, and she was also helping out John Keel, and she was writing a column for the paper called "Where the Waters Mingle."
Is she the one that coined the phrase Mothman?
I don't think it was exactly her, but
do you know why it was called the Mothman?
It was the paper. Why was
it
called the
Mothman?
No.
Did you read it that?
Oh, I know. Do you know why?
Yeah.
On this podcast,
Well,
Greg knows.
This was like big when the Batman TV series was going on. So the newspaper didn't want to call it Batman.
Right.
So they had to come up with something else. So they came up with Mothman.
Yeah. Yeah, that was in some of the research, which I thought was pretty cool. So you're just
imagine it was like if it was Batman, I would believe it more.
Why would you believe it more if it was
Because I
Batman?
love Batman, and it could be Bruce Wayne flying around.
Okay. He's flying around just scaring the shit out of people in Point Pleasant?
Yep.
Out of all the things?
Yep.
Which I thought was another cool thing. Oh, we're also watching the live stream of the Mothman statue. That's
Mothman statue 24/7 stream.
Yeah, it's the Mothman cam. You can look it up on YouTube, and it's brought to you by.
I wonder if anything has ever happened. Like people just like a car accident just took this thing out.
No, because it's been standing there since 2002, like right around the movie when they did the first festival, and we found it. Like, I love that there's a museum.
Mothman cam.
There's
a museum for fucking everything.
There is. Why not? It's history.
I know. I'm just saying.
Do you not like that?
No, I do.
Would you go down to the festival?
Yeah.
They have a festival every year. This year it's been canceled.
Everything's canceled this year.
Everything is canceled because
I found flights to Orlando for $39 round trip.
Yeah, but we can't even go to Horror Nights.
I know. We couldn't even Mickey's Halloween party, not so scary party, is canceled.
Everything's canceled. It sucks. Yeah. Halloween's going to be canceled.
Halloween canceled.
In some towns here, they're canceling Halloween.
That's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
Here's my thing on that.
What?
You're wearing mask already? Wear another one? You're safe. Extra safe.
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother thing, too, with the CDC just coming out like, oh, well, during the fires in Los Angeles and on the West Coast, like, oh, the masks don't do anything. It doesn't protect you against this, but it protects you against COVID.
Well, yeah, I read the same thing. Yeah, it was...
Let's think about that one.
The masks don't protect against the smoke particles, which are actually bigger than the COVID particles.
Let's think about that one, folks.
So chew on that for you.
Yeah, definitely chew on that. Again, to me, it's all bullshit, but whatever. Just look at the numbers. If people are afraid, stay home. If you're not, go out and enjoy your life.
Go out and enjoy the life. Go out and enjoy the Mothman Museum Cam 24/7 live streamed.
Yeah, right now there's
look at
this couple there at the Mothman statue.
Oh, he has his face shield on. Look at him.
He doesn't have a face shield on. He has a hat on.
I know, but it's funnier if you say a face shield on.
And he's outside.
It looks like he has a flip phone.
He probably does. Look at how old he is. Probably a World War II vet. He probably was around the time the Mothman did happen.
Well, he was probably making the munitions.
Very, very true. Now, a couple other things that really stood out to me for the Mothman case. I don't know if you really, how deep you dug into this.
I was so deep that I couldn't even see the top.
Wow, that's pretty deep. Or do you have anything that's like compelling in the history that you found in Mothman?
I don't know. I just thought the Batman thing was pretty interesting to me.
That's the only thing that caught Greg's eye.
No, yeah.
Greg's a simple man.
I am a simple guy. Yeah, then like how like the two couples spotted him and like basically that was like ridiculed in the local press in a local town.
Yeah.
Until hundreds of people started seeing it and they're like, okay, maybe there's something to it.
Right.
Like, imagine you're the first person that comes out and you get made fun of, then everyone starts seeing it and be like, oh, sorry, man.
Well, see, that's the thing that goes back to, like, any of these, sightings of creatures or UFOs, anything that you want to say. Is it somebody did see it and then somebody, now is, like, frightened and then sees it also and then plays off of that, and then just some other people just chime in and said, yeah, you know, like
I think you always
definitely
get
saw
those people, that if like you start saying something like those story toppers,
Yeah.
you know those people.
there is always out there.
Like, oh, I was, I hit a ball, 400 feet in Little League. Oh, I hit it 500 feet. It's like, okay, dude.
Yeah, there's always people like
Story
that.
toppers.
So do you think like wildlife biologist, we didn't mention his name, Dr. Robert Smith of West Virginia University, who told reporters that all the sightings fit what to be a sandhill crane? That could be a possibility.
I think it is.
Two of the things that really stuck out to me, I have to find them in my notes. Let's see if I have it in my notes here too.
Kill, kill, kill.
You really love this guy's name.
I do.
Why does he stand out?
I
Did
don't
you
know.
read his book?
No.
You didn't read the book. What the?
Mothman Prophecies, Richard Gere, though.
I do want to play a clip from the Mothman's Prophecies because that was a good movie. I did rewatch it again.
It was loosely based on the same book.
Well, yeah, they have to tie into a lot of different things. And two of the things that really stood out to me was one, like UFO sightings. A lot of people saw some type of lights in the sky.
Yep.
And that was a big thing for me, just because like a lot of people say, all right, could this have been
A UFO.
a UFO or a UFO creature coming down? And what was also very compelling to me, all right, is this a harbinger of death, the Mothman, or is it somebody there to like warn people about a pending doom that is coming?
Well, I mean,
So it could be a good Mothman or a bad Mothman, depending on who you talk to or what you really believe. And I thought this was more compelling than like, we can go through case files, and I think like every show is done like, oh, this person saw this on this such and such date,
Sure.
you know? Like,
well, that and like there was a lot of mutilations going on at this time as well.
yeah, around just like the United States in general, and I'm
So-
sure around the world too. The only thing I did try to find was like moths, and there was a documentary that was made by Small Town Monsters that kind of went into, like, I guess ancient traditions on like, just the flies, moth, and like, could it be linked to any like gods or something that was, they didn't really like go into the, like depth on it, but
Yeah.
they did talk about it. Even like the Native Americans that were living in the area.
I don't think so, just because of the fact that it was just made up by the newspaper people. So you don't know really what it was.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying like just Mothman in general,
No.
like that's been around forever, but they do depict some types of birds in ancient cultures and things like that. Even in like when you look at the Egyptian arts.
Goddamn Egyptians were seeing UFOs.
See, that's what I'm
That
saying.
should be a whole nother episode.
I mean, we could do that.
Ancient goddamn aliens.
Yeah, but one of the things I wanted to talk about too, besides the UFO sightings, was Darren Berger. He was a salesman, Woodrow Darren Berger, who was on an isolated road on Highway 77 near Parkersburg, West Virginia. And then he said a flying vehicle that looked like an old-fashioned, I don't even...
Kerosene lamps. Yeah, like that has.
I know, but like, how does that really look? Like, is it up and down? Is it like vertical? Is it horizontal, like the way it looked? But that's what he said. He said it landed in front of his truck, and then a gentleman got out. And this is where I'll play the clip from Mothman Prophecies, because this is where the first name of somebody comes into play right here.
My name is Injured Cold.
His name is Injured Cold. And he said, Injured Cold, this is like the very first time. And like, I think we should do a whole episode on this.
Okay.
Because this is kind of fascinating, because like, you hear a lot of stories of stuff like this happening. And then, the whole aspect of the grinning man. You hear that in a lot of different cultures too.
Sure.
Like when you look around. So this is one of the things that really, compelled me and like caught my attention with the Mothman. I know it's not the same thing as what people were seeing.
Sure.
But like
It's tied into some. It's
yeah, like a couple weeks before the first sighting, because the sighting that Darren Berger had was on November 2nd, 1966.
66.
66 was a popping year for this stuff. Yeah, and he said when, like the thing landed in front of him and then like came up to his car and was talking to him and said like he didn't mean him any harm, like he's not there to hurt him. Like,
Do you
asked him
think
a
it
couple
was
things.
like maybe this guy hallucinating what he saw, and maybe like somebody broke down on the side of the road? Like maybe, I don't know, like a car was facing the wrong way and the guy just needed help. So he came over and he was like, hi, my name is, I don't know.
Like the only thing I can think of, like, all right, if you were drunk driving and you saw this, or if you were hallucinating and like tired, like, I mean, we've been really tired driving in certain places.
Sure.
Like when we drive at night, and I've never hallucinated.
No,
Like, I don't know
have.
how tired you really have to be, or how like drugged up you have to be to like
I think
really
it's after like
hallucinate.
50 hours or something like that.
Yeah, but it doesn't say that in the account. Like,
Well, I
I
know,
know
but
he was a salesperson. He was driving around, and it was like after 7 o'clock. So you can't be driving that long throughout the day.
You don't know. Maybe you started driving the morning before.
Well, that's true, but then you have to, you need more evidence than what just, this he was saying, like, because it doesn't say that in report. He just said he walked up. He said, like, I mean you no harm. We wish you only happiness. And then he told him my name. And then he said his name was Cold.
Yep.
Injured Cold. So, like, that was and that's
Could it be like, hey, I'm injured and I'm cold? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it could be. So that's a good analysis. But I'm saying, like, it just ties in. So now, like, do these stories over the years, you would have to, like, talk to this guy. I don't know if he's still around or he's still alive. Probably not.
No way.
But that's one of the things, like, it creeps you out, though, when you think about it and you talk about it, like, this time of year. And it's starting to feel like fall here in New Jersey, so it's freaking awesome.
It is awesome. The weather is great outside.
It really is.
No humidity. I love it.
We got to get out there.
We got to get out there and find the injured cold guy.
I know. That was one of the things that I really loved about, like, the Mothman prophecies.
Mothman.
I'll play another clip, too, because this was my favorite part in Mothman. I'll play it here. When I went to see the movies, I remember seeing this, too, exactly what it was.
Thank you.
Oh, God. He's like,
What's my hand?
chapstick. That was my favorite line, and one of our favorite lines, too, when we went to see the movie. What's in my hand?
Why?
Chapstick. Just the way it says it, like the way it, like, drawn out. Chapstick. And we always used to say that. So everybody used to carry the chapstick around. Did you watch, have you seen the Mothman prophecies?
Yeah, yeah. The movie with Richard Gere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, like, recently? I mean, I watched it again, but
Not really recent, no.
it's a good movie, I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it has nothing to do, like, with the accounts of people.
100%. I think it's solely 100% based on real events, based on a true story, 100% real.
No way.
Just like the Blair Witch.
Oh, my God.
Goddamn Blair Witch was real.
It could be real.
That was a freaky thing when that first came out, I remember.
Yeah, because no one knew.
No one knew, yeah.
But, yeah, that on top of the, Darren Berger story, the UFO sightings, and then it all accumulated in December
Yes.
of 1967 with the Silver Bridge collapse.
Now, do you think that's just like a coincidence?
So,
Like a very big coincidence?
so for like a year straight, people are, seeing sightings after sightings. And then on December 15th, 1967, the Silver Bridge collapsed and caused the death of 46 people. And then what I found fascinating about this, and then I also just like had it in my notes because I was thinking about it. And I was thinking about saying, all right, did the sightings stop just because of the tragedy, right? When like tragedy happens, people like, they stop everything.
Sure.
So
no, I think
there's no more like mysteries. There's no more like, if you went up to somebody that their family died, say, 9/11 just recently, right? And somebody died in 9/11. And then you went up to them and be like, well, it was a conspiracy. They don't want to hear that shit at that moment, So like, is it one of those things where the Mothman, all right, it was a big talk of the town. Now there's a festival with it. There's a, Mothman cam, there's a museum, the town makes a lot of money off of this now. But back in the day when this happened and the Silver Bridge collapsed and people were blaming Mothman for it, and then all of a sudden just like no more sightings.
No, what I read is people were still seeing it. They just didn't want to report it.
Right.
So I don't think it stopped. I think it's just people wanted to forget about it. So maybe if they didn't pay attention to it, nothing else would happen.
See, that's the thing. Like when you try to look at, accounts and then you say like, all right, yeah, because I did read that too, but there's no substantial accounts like after this. So
no, there isn't.
Like, do you have to really look at it and say, is this a harbinger of death? Was he trying to predict something?
Yeah, or forewarning for something.
And that's where it's also very fascinating to me.
Because he didn't harm anybody.
True. So
he was just there.
No accounts. He was just there following people, looking at people. But then
I wonder, like, if you could trace back to the 46 people who died, of like how many people saw it out of those 46, or how many of those relatives or had friends.
That's a good question. I don't know.
That saw it.
Yeah, and that's something we might, if we go down to the museum and talk to Jeff Wamsley, we could ask him.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't know. I would say that would be like a good connection tie-in.
They might have it. I haven't seen anything.
See, that just looks like a bat with like a little person on it.
Well, yeah, this is just a somebody made it for the museum.
Goddamn paper mache.
Paper mache. Well, yeah, during the creatures, like, who knows what it looks like? Why is it always like? See, this is another thing. Do people depict? Like when you look in the sky and see clouds.
Yeah.
Do people depict like it more human-like?
Because that's what your eyes try to make shapes out of things.
I mean,
or make it like more resemble something you can describe. So
I mean, I get that, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are aliens or creatures always human-like? Why aren't they something like totally different that we have no comprehension of actual being?
I don't know.
And some of the other sites too, like when this bridge disaster, the Silver Bridge collapse happened, and people were saying like, I didn't find too much accounts with it. I know I love seeing like all the pictures that are out there, like with the Mothman sitting on the bridge.
That is cool.
And it's like, all
that.
right, whatever. And they said like, oh, the Mothman was the cause of the bridge collapse, but then I think it was a design fall, like a single eye bar.
Yeah, the eye bar and
chain.
just during rush hour. So the weight of the bridge popped out this one little like eye bar metal piece and created a domino effect that took down the whole bridge.
Yeah, I'm trying to find, because this was a good article. What was this? What was the website? True Noir, Everyday Mysteries. They have like a whole write-up on, the Mothman. I'll link this article in the actual show notes because I thought it was well done and I read the whole thing. And if you want to get more information and go more into depth on Mothman, this was definitely a good thing to like read because it goes bit by bit. Same thing. Oh, that was another thing too I found. That, what was it, Chernobyl? Supposedly there was, the Mothman sightings of Chernobyl, but I didn't find any substantial information. Like they even had this on, True Noir stories.
Yeah, the 4 people claim that the Mothman stopped them.
Yeah.
Which I don't think so.
Yeah, but they go like how, it's unverified, most of the reports. And that's what I liked. I saw it and I didn't find too much of it.
That was another disaster that, could have been totally avoided.
There's a lot of stuff, that could be avoided too. See, I would love to talk to like Mary. I know she's not around. She passed away years ago because how old was she when she passed away? She passed away in the 1970s. She was born in 1915, but she
55 years old.
She would have been an awesome person to sit down and like pick her brain because she knew those people.
Sure.
Like in the Mothman prophecies where the sheriff knew like everybody in town, like she knew everybody and everybody trusted her, like telling her information.
Well, that's like one cool thing about like small towns is everyone knows everybody.
Yeah.
Especially back then.
Yeah, and a couple unsubstantiated claims too were the Men in Black. And I definitely think we should do like a revisited episode on the Men in Black.
I would love to see Men in Black.
People did say like the some of the sightings too, and Mary claimed, and I think it was also your boy John Keel.
Keel.
He said there was a lot of people like calling him during this time when he was down there.
Yeah, people were calling him like with prophecies and like things like that. What they say, like there was one guy called and said there was going to be a blackout once they turned on the Christmas lights at the White House.
Oh yeah.
So I think when this starts to happen, especially people get all hyped up and start, making stuff up and doing things. So,
well, that's the thing too. Like, was Injured Cold a Men in Black? Like, was he sent there to like? I don't know who this guy was just driving along. Like, why would he stop him?
I think he was just injured, man. He was cold.
You think that was really it, and the guy like misinterpreted the whole thing?
100%. He's maybe a drug addict or maybe an alcoholic or whatever the case may be. Yeah.
See, that would be another thing too. Like if we went down there and did like a show with Jeff Wamsley at the museum, and then like asked him these type of questions, like have this in hand. Like, all right, well, let me
Jeff.
have you dug into this information.
I'm sure he has.
Like that's the thing too, because I don't think Mary, besides what she posted in the paper, like her column where the waters mingle, I don't think she wrote anything. I know she had some, hand in with John Keel's book and everything. But, you know, after that, like, I would have loved to really sat down and talked to her. Like, all right, did you see anything? You know, what did you experience besides like what you wrote? Like, was there anything that you did experience that you did not talk about? And like, who are these people that did visit you as the Men in Black? Because she did claim that she had some weird lights in the sky, and she observed on, you know, a couple occasions, and she claimed to have been visited by the Men in Black. See, I really want to know, like, the Men in Black do intrigue me, and I know we did this our very first podcast on it.
We did,
but I would love to come back to that and like look at some new stories.
Case file 100, Men in Black revisited.
Why 100?
I don't know. Round number.
All right, so we got 33 more to go. And then we'll get there. We'll do Revisited Men in Black.
Kill, kill, kill.
You love that guy. What if you met him?
Oh, it's it. Right to his face.
No, you wouldn't.
Kill, kill, kill.
Greg gets nervous.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, this one's...
What do you think, though?
Who's at the Mothman cam now?
No one.
5 people are watching. I love this. I'm going to have this up all day. The Mothman cam. Oh, there goes a car. Imagine you saw the Mothman fly by.
What do you think it is?
The Mothman.
Yeah,
what do you think it is?
Yeah, because you love this one so much.
I do. I love the stories. I love all the documentaries. I love the drawings of it. I definitely got to get a pin or something for the studio.
Do you think it can be tied into or related to the Jersey Devil at all?
It's possible.
Or you think they're not the same creature, though?
No, I don't think so, because I think like what we did, and even the Jersey Devil case file, that's case file 8, that's
case
going
file
back way too. Like, I did think we had a good theory on the Jersey Devil.
Sure.
Where it was, again, misinterpreted some ways, and then like it was kind of passed down, so it could have been a creature. But like, listen to the episode, I think we had a good one there. I think this one, the reason why I like it so much, because it has not just the creature itself.
Yeah.
It has like the Men in Black. It has Injured Cold. It has like all these, you know, UFO sightings, along with people seeing like this big winged creature. And I do think it is plausible. Like, there is like a mutated animal or a bird out there, you know, just because of like what's around us. And I know they do find new species all the time.
Sure.
So you have to think about like, all right, was there a mutated animal at the time that just was like massive? And like, birds can get pretty big, as we know, like even the sandhill crane, even if it was that.
Goddamn pterodactyls.
You think pterodactyls are real now?
Dude, that would be awesome. If they still
Dinosaurs
were.
never roamed the earth. Wow. We know that. It's a fact.
Okay. They did have feathers, though.
They could have had feathers. How do we know that they had feathers?
Well, that's what they say now.
Well, see, they're always finding new information. So why didn't we find a carcass or some bones of the Mothman? Like, if it was a creature and it was like a mutated animal, do you think we would have found...
I don't know.
Do you think like people in Point Pleasant would like look around for that?
Probably not.
Like find its nest or something?
I don't know.
I mean, I truly want to believe like it is some type of alien creature, like half man, half creature, like mutated. I think that would be badass. But then again, I don't know. Like, seeing is believing.
Sure.
I mean, I can't discount like 100 people saying they witnessed this.
No, you can't.
Even if 50, or even if we want to go 60 people
60
are
people.
making it up, right? And there's 40 people out there that did see something.
Yeah.
I can't discount that. Because like you even said it on one of our previous shows. All, you know, like myths, folklore,
have to begin somewhere.
Yeah, they begin somewhere from some type of truth. So maybe like the very first sighting on November 12th, 1966 really did happen.
I'm sure it did. I'm sure they saw something. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, and if some of these witnesses, which they do talk to them over and over again, and they said that like it was right next to the car.
Yeah.
Like, so how can you like if you're looking at it and you're saying it's right next to the car, you have a really good look at it. It's not like it's 100 feet over your head. This is right next to your car.
Yeah, I get that.
Unless you're so panicked.
Yeah, if it's a bird you've never seen, you're so panicked, you really don't want to look at it, but you want to look at it. So you're like half looking at it.
Yeah, but if you're living in the city, and I know this is kind of considered a city in Point Pleasant, but it's different than where we live. So like they're used to the backcountry. They're used to like these, you know, like think if wherever you go where there's nobody around, they're used to animals. So like I would feel like they would know a little bit better then
But if it's an exotic thing that you've never seen before,
would you get scared?
it depends on what happened.
If it came and bit you,
I mean, if it bit me, yeah, I would be pissed.
would you shoot it?
If it bit me, yeah.
You would shoot it now. It's an endangered animal.
How do you
Mothman
know?
is on the endangered species list.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Look it up.
Good. Then I'll
Greg
fucking,
knows it all. On the
I'll
next
shoot.
podcast.
I'll shoot it
Wow.
because I'll be like, yeah, it bit me. So do you think it's real then?
I think what people did see
Uh-huh.
is real.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. Like I wasn't there.
Yeah, you
I
don't
mean,
know
I
what
can
they
only
saw?
read second accounts like of from what we saw or what we read here.
I want to believe.
I always want to believe. I mean, I am very skeptical when it comes to this stuff, but I'm open-minded and I don't discount like what people say because I didn't experience it.
would you say you're a bigger Bigfoot fan or Mothman fan?
Oh shit. I mean, I do love Bigfoot. I mean, Bigfoot was one of the first I've ever heard about as a young kid.
Yeah.
So like that was before Mothman. Then like once you start digging into
Mothy.
Bigfoot, then you like find out about, Mothman and other stuff like Loch Ness. Like I remember a book when we went to St. Anne's.
Okay.
And I remember going to the library and I picked up this book. And I remember Loch Ness, Bigfoot, and JFK were all in this book. It was probably some conspiracy thing. I remember it was hardcover looking through.
Yeah.
I remember I could still vividly see it. And I remember just like looking at like JFK's brains all like splattered on, like the gurney table and stuff.
Yeah.
And like the Patterson Gimlin footage like in book form, like showing you the layout of it, like the Loch Ness pictures.
Nessie.
I really enjoyed that book, and that was probably one of the first. I was in second grade, and I still remember that. Like that was such a big impression on it. So, I do believe in the stories of Mothman. I just couldn't tell you definitively because there was no pictures. Nobody took pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is a picture floating around out there of. I don't know if you saw it. Let me see if I could find it.
Of Mothy?
Yeah, I'll pull it up. Mothman picture. Let's see.
Maddie the Mothy?
That'd be
Is that what you're going to be for Halloween?
We talked about this.
I know.
Frankenstein.
Did you get it?
No, I didn't get it.
Was it a Halloween Spirit?
No, this was on
Party City.
No,
Party City.
it was on
Halloween Spirit.
Ruby's Halloween.
Goddamn rubies.
Let me see. I think there's a picture of it. Oh yeah, here it is.
Big studio build out.
Oh yeah, that's more. This is the picture. Man photographs that resembles the Mothman.
That looks weird.
Yeah, I'll try to pull up, see if it's bigger. Yeah, when was this from? This is just a picture. I mean, we could read the whole article and we could do like a whole show on it one time. I hate those things. Let's say, just open up the.
I don't know. It kind of looks like almost like a frog with something.
Well, yeah, people do speculate and said it was probably some type of bird with like a snake or something in its mouth.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely make out wings, and you can make out like the back claws or something. Maybe
I don't even know what they are. They almost look like feet.
they almost look. Yeah, they look like feet, but the knees are bent the other way.
Yeah,
Like if you're sitting in a chair backwards.
I mean, it could be a snake.
I don't know if that's a snake, but maybe. I don't know. That's definitely a.
Well, here's the thing that we didn't talk about on this. Could this have been an experiment in like 1940s when it was an ammunition depot and they were experimenting it on other shit?
On like animals and stuff, and this got out.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's possible. I'm sure that has happened.
Like think about like the base, because what people do talk about the base, and I heard, even on the who was it? I think Jeff Walmsley did, an interview with one of the documentaries that I watched, because I try to watch like every documentary that was out there, and he did talk about that. He did say like during the time of the base. Oh no, it wasn't him. It was a guy that runs like the tourism thing. I forget his name. Sorry. But he did talk about like during that time when it was an ammunition depot, like people were being bussed in on like blacked out windows. They didn't like know where like they were really going, but they like worked here and like they were bussed in and out.
Sure.
So could it have been like an Area 51 type before Area 51? Like they were
Could have
working on some secret shit that some people knew about, some people didn't.
I'm sure there's so many sites about like that were like Area 51 that no one knew about.
Yeah.
That are hidden in plain sight. That
dude, that
some
shit I
crazy
love.
shit happened.
But how come like that stuff never got out?
Because it's like, how does half of this stuff become so mainstream and so big, and half of this stuff doesn't?
That's
We
what I
talk
always
about
wonder.
we talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
So like those other places probably just didn't get as big.
Yeah. Like they were just experimenting. So
Like
that-
right for Patterson Air Force Base.
See, that's
it's
why
like the East Coast Area 51 almost.
That's why I think this one's so compelling, because there's so many different avenues that you can go down to. It's not just like Bigfoot, which makes
Mothman,
sense,
Biggie.
but like you have the
Bobby the Bigfoot.
Army, you have Injured Cold, you have UFOs, you have the Men in Black, you have Mothman.
So you have everything tied into one, basically.
yeah.
Almost.
It's awesome. And how do you not believe that? Like, do you think, like, looking at this and discussing a little bit more, that you might have a different take on it?
There's probably some stuff going on down there.
Yeah.
But I don't know about this, the Mothman.
So, like, the creature itself, like, all right,
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But, like, there was some shit in the 60s going on.
Yeah, I'm
And
sure
then,
there was.
You know, it,
Height of the, it was a Cold War. Everything was going on. There could still be experiments that they were trying to figure out and trying to do. And I don't know, probably something weird.
this town just, got the brunt of it.
Weird Town, USA.
See, that it's always those small towns, man, that you got to watch out for. Those small towns get you.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, this one definitely, it intrigued me really to really think about, and maybe, like, let's do an episode on Injured Cold, look at the Men in Black again, because I don't think we mentioned, like, the whole Point Pleasant connection to the Men in Black episode.
No, I don't think we
The
did.
first time we did.
No.
So that, like, there's different avenues we can go around to talk about, like, the Men in Black. But yeah, this one, I don't know. I would say I believe those people, but I don't know. Like,
Yep.
I need more, and I would like pictures, I guess, videos, which I know really didn't happen back then, because it's not like everybody had a cell phone. They had to kind of set everything up, because
Sure.
the day after, there is videos you could watch on YouTube of the day after the Silver Bridge collapsed,
Yeah.
which is kind of like shitty. And, I always hate talking about, like, the tragedy end of it, because
I don't know what happened, though.
I know it did happen, and you have to realize some people just didn't want to hear shit about the Mothman anymore.
Yeah.
And then, it sucks. So you're a non-believer on the Mothman. I'm open.
Yeah.
Oh, Greg's open.
I'm not
now.
open to it. I think it was
You're
just
not open.
I think there was other stuff going on down there, but I don't know about the Mothman.
Yeah, and it sucks that there was only one account, too, of Injured Cold, like, sighting. I would have liked, me.
He was just a guy who was injured who was called on the side of the road.
Yeah, see, that's why, like, I can't really go more into that. Like, the Men in Black, yes. Like, maybe the government was like, shit, we have to cover this up because...
There's
we
probably
did
some shady shit going on at that base. Men in Black came down there to, cover
Last
that
thing
shit up.
before we wrap it up, then we have to say, like, I just thought of this. What if it was, like, an experiment that got wrong?
Sure.
And, like, the government put out, like, Mothman as, like, a diversion to what was really going on.
They could do
And
that.
then that's why, like, you saw some Men in Black come around and say, well, yeah.
I mean, they could have also orchestrated the Silver Bridge incident, too, to stop it all, to get people's focus off of the Mothman.
See, and that's fucking, like, a whole nother conspiracy that, people don't talk about.
Nope.
And that's why, like, when I love watching, these episodes, but they all have the same information. They don't bring up, like, new theories. They don't, like,
No, they don't.
go into, like, some of the stuff that we just talked about, because, that's why I didn't want to, like, on this episode, and I don't think that we ever really want to do this, but, like, just talk about, like, the same incidents and just, like, regurgitate the same information.
No, 'cause you can get that anywhere.
I think it's so much more deeper. Like we said, like, this, I believe the people, what they saw. I believe there's more to it. And there might...
to believe.
Exactly, Mulder. But I think we just need more information. I don't know. So we'll leave it up to that. If you have any information on the Mothman, if you have any comments, you want to chime in on your own theory, let us know. All of our contact information can be found at nightmare365.com.
Use that goddamn hotline.
What hotline? You don't even know the number. You always mess it up.
732-660-8893.
Finally.
Bye-bye.
Got him. Wah, wah, wah. That's right. We also have a new P.O. box.
P.O. box.
Would you know the new one?
No.
I sent it to you.
Yeah, I know you did.
I tried to get 365, but I couldn't do it. It
That's
was already
sad.
taken.
That's
I know.
sad.
We have P.O. Box 400, Allenwood, New Jersey, 08720. So if you have, like Greg says, all month October, or as long as we're going to keep doing it, send
a self-addressed stamped envelope to us at the P.O. Box, and we'll send you something.
There you go. We have that
Also,
too.
subscribe to us on YouTube, people. Please help the show out. Help us out.
Help us. We're just
Help
two
us
lonely
help you.
brothers here, just living in the studio.
I want to believe.
I just want to believe that one day we'll get out of the studio.
One day we will. One day, my friend. So, and yet lastly, if you like our shows, if you want to hear more content, like extended podcasts,
Head over to
weekday weeks-
YouTube.
Well, it's not just on YouTube. It's
I
our
know.
Patreon page. We have 3 different tiers that you can check out.
Super fans.
Super fans, they're there. So check it out, our Patreon page as well, and give us a review and rating anywhere you listen to us. We'll shut the hell up right now. So thank you. Share your theories, and until next time,
Stay spooky.